Welcome to the show, everybody. This is episode 19 of the Sit Down.
I think it's episode 20.
That's episode 20?
Yeah.
Episode 20. Time flies. How we doing? I'm Mike Recine, and today we're talking to Ray Kump from Tim Dillon's Going to Hell.
Hello.
Hey, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Tim canceled. I mean, we want you here.
Well, I mean, I don't care that I'm your second choice, but now you make it seem like I'm Tim's lackey. Like, well, Tim cancels, the Ray shows up.
Well, we wanted to find somebody who is like nobody knows about anything. You realize you start looking through your Rolodex of people,
Right?
And you're like, who? Because we had a whole episode planned, and we're like, who reads?
Yeah.
And it's pretty much nobody.
Yeah. I mean, occasionally I'll read some Huffington Post on the Twitter.
Do you?
Yeah, whatever. I try to keep, up with the current events.
Yeah. Huffington Post is good.
They're neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence bought a new shirt.
And that's driving the gender gap up.
Yeah. Anyway, we got a cool episode planned for you today. I'm Mike Recine. Actually, I want to say this. I was on the road this week, and I did this little run of shows. Like, I used my airline miles to get out there. I did Cincinnati, Columbus, Cleveland, and Detroit.
Wow.
Salt of the earth.
I really am. I'm a fucking,
This is a real a tour of working class America.
Yeah. Yeah.
Down to the roots.
And I don't have a road agent anymore. So, I mean, now, I know on podcasts, there's probably too much of people, like, complaining about show business or talking about it. But I just want to tell this quick story because, like, if anyone out there is, like, thinking about getting into comedy, I flew out there with my airline miles. I didn't get to rent a car. I headlined some bar shows. I do a show Wednesday night in Cleveland, and I go home to the guy who I'm sleeping on his couch, and he goes, "Oh yeah, let me just hit that couch real quick with the dustbuster before you get on it because it's covered in cat hair." And he's like, "It's this basement apartment," and I go to lay down. And before I go to sleep, there's a pizza box. Papa John's pizza, and there's some chicken nuggets in it, and I'm like, oh, this was from
where, like under your pillow,
on his kitchen table.
Oh, okay.
I should have clarified that. Yeah, but I opened the pizza box. There's 2 chicken nuggets. I take a chicken nugget. I take a bite of it. I'm like, you know what? I don't know how old this is. I shouldn't be eating more, and I spit it out. Then about an hour later, I wake up and I have like the shivers. I'm like, it's like freezing
so you
cold.
ate half of it.
Some residue of it must have
had
like,
to get in.
gotten into my mouth.
It.
Yeah, and that was dumb of me because I have no idea how long.
I mean, first of all, it's Papa John's. I mean,
Yeah, and it's chicken from a pizza place.
What's your point, Matt? Jesus Christ! Do you know how many times we have to edit out just like the worthless shit that he says?
By the way, the trans fats.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't normally think that a pizza restaurant serves chicken.
It's bad.
You like ranch dressing?
Bad for you.
Matt, a fucking chicken nugget is a chicken nugget, for Christ's sake.
All right. So what?
Shut the fuck up. But anyway, so I also I did 2 shows in Cleveland, 2 bar shows. We go out to a bar afterwards. Somebody hands me a beer. I'm like too old to be.
Wait, you're moving on. You were shivering. Is that it? You just shivered a little bit, then you went back to sleep?
No. I was shivering. I thought I was gonna puke.
Okay.
It felt like mild food poisoning. But at the same time, I have this whiskey burn. Every 45 seconds, I get this really intense whiskey burn in my chest. And I was like, this is how I die. I die on a fucking... I die on a couch, a cat-covered couch in Cleveland.
What is the thing about comedy? It's like you ever die like in some bold, like, heroin overdose or...
And that's probably how a lot of comics die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, like John Panette or whatever, just, probably ate a bad croissant.
Right.
And his heart just gave out. Like, it's just, there's no noble... I mean, not that, like, Jim Morrison choking on his vomit or whatever is noble, but... Comparatively, it kind of is.
Yeah.
Compared to you eating a bad chicken nugget with cat hair on it.
Yeah. Well, also, like, this doesn't end... I'm starting to realize this doesn't end well for a lot of people. You know? I've been here a long time. I've been in New York when I was, like, mid-20s, where it's, like, you and all your friends, and you're doing shows, and there's no stakes. And now I'm starting to see all those people, like,
Succeed?
No, the opposite. Yeah. The exact opposite. They're all dropping off, and it's not ending very well.
Yeah, I mean, there's no...
I'm seeing people lose their minds and like move home with their parents and like, well,
it attracts crazy people to begin with and broken people to begin with.
Yeah.
And then it basically reinforces everything about comedy reinforces you to keep doing everything wrong you're doing when you start.
Right.
So it's like, all your faults are just amplified because they're material. You say, oh, I'm fat and I'm lazy and I beat my wife and people
they go,
are laughing.
Yeah.
And
right.
Beat your wife stuff. It's not, but so that's getting phased out. But I mean, you can still be a fat monster.
That is getting phased out. Yeah. But you
Probably
know what's funny
best.
though? Yeah. I was watching Frank Terranova shared a clip of Dice doing the garden, and he's like talking about whatever he's being Dice, and there's like women like laughing. So it must be really hard for if you came from that generation to see that.
Well, some of them like getting
girls
hit.
are laughing, right? Right.
Doesn't mean it's right.
Right.
She likes it when I talk about screwing a taint with a screwdriver.
No, it's just tough to like have a moral compass because nobody sets it for you and nobody corrects you. Nobody
What's the
corrects
thing about
you.
like privilege and all this shit? It's not about like I don't know how minorities will ever feel, but I feel like it's like I think the idea is
I don't
like,
either. I never know how minorities feel.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But I think the idea is
I don't ask either.
It's like we should like white guys have gone unchecked for dozens of or decades or whatever the fuck, and this is what happens. I mean, if you let other people go unchecked, probably not great either.
Yeah,
but that's what you end up with the patriarchy.
Now I want to know what's the next group to get checked.
Indians probably.
Yeah,
they're doing pretty well, I think. So
they'll be.
What? I mean, it might be 5 years down the road, but
Indians. You heard it here first.
Well, Ray, you're going to enjoy a segment we have on this show called "Guess Who's Getting Too Far Ahead." So you say Indians. We're going to answer that question for you later in the show. Anyway, so
at least they would, like if you did die on that couch, at least they would find you. Like there's some comedians in New York that have died. Like and they're not found for like weeks. You know?
I mean, the smell will eventually tip someone off.
Right.
It gets pretty.
You know what's
loaded.
funny? There was a guy who started coming to mics like maybe like 2009. His name was Charlie Abelson. And he was just like 87-year-old man who would like come and do stand up. And I
hate those guys.
I mean, I kind of hate him. I kind of hate him too because it's like it's very cheap and you see what they're doing. It's very transparent.
Who's that one? The fucking Peter Pan or the fuck? And then there was a guy with the glasses.
I remember Alan Shane.
Alan Shane, that fucking hack.
He was a different.
Everyone's like
different.
He dies. Everyone's like, this guy was a fucking hero.
Open mic hero.
What Gary? He's like, oh, he was in Kimmy Schmidt. Go fuck yourself. This is a tough business. Oh, you want to get in at 87? Go fuck my dick.
Yeah.
I'm sick of these old fucks. Like I'm fucking too old for this shit.
Right.
And I'm fucking like 32.
Yeah. Wait, let me just see if this guy Charlie Abelson is still alive. He's probably not. But you just imagine like this guy dying. He's probably. I mean, this is him. I'll friend request him. But he's like this, old man.
Yeah, just a kind old man.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't that kind. He would bump people.
He knows what he's doing.
He would bump people at open mics.
But I have no idea. And the last post, somebody goes, "You still kicking?" Ray Combs Jr. You know Ray Combs?
I think maybe.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, Ray Combs goes, "You still kicking?" October 20th. And then people. Now it's all people on his wall going, "Happy birthday, where you been? Are you still around?"
Oh, no.
This other girl just going, "Charlie," with an exclamation point.
It's like his fucking 50-year-old son's like got control of his Facebook account or whatever. It's just like makes him cry every time.
There's a Dante Nero video on here. He can't be still alive. Anyway, Jesus. Okay. So, all right. So I read this article in Cincinnati and it really got me thinking because it feels like now people are starting to catch on. Like, you remember like 2006, 2007, Facebook and Twitter, like it was sort of this like answer to the bleakness, I guess, we were feeling after the Iraq war and all that shit. So people were kind of excited about all this like tech stuff.
Right. And then, a little bit later, we had the Arab Spring.
Right.
And so everyone's like, oh,
that
Twitter's...
was good, right?
I mean, was it?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know much about that.
It led to a military coup in Egypt, so I guess cool.
Yeah.
Did something.
But but the people, it was inarguably a force for change in the world.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then like, yeah, so that happened. But now I just feel like at this point we sort of live in this like just neoliberal fucking hell where every ad you see on the subway is like a new way to order pizza or a new way to get your razors or a new way to like, and it's just like, I think people are starting to catch on that these are like not good people.
Yeah, well, they're data mining you so that you fucking. I mean, literally.
Yeah, it's too bad too that I thought of the exact app you're talking about. Slice, the pizza app.
Yeah,
you know, like the razor company. Like I know what you're talking about. So
someone this at a bodega handed me a Stella Artois chalice. Just some guy I knew. He's like, "Hey, you want this?" And I'm like, "All right, cool." Yeah. It was nice. I don't have a lot of glasses at home, so I took it. Literally an hour later.
Ray, come on. You have no glasses at home.
I have paper cups. And
Ray, you're among friends.
Well, I have this one now.
Ray, you drink out of a dog bowl.
It's all right. So
anyway, so you don't have any glasses.
An hour later, I'm on the subway and I see a sponsored ad to buy this chalice, the Stella Artois. Like, who the fuck is buying that off a Facebook ad to begin with?
Yeah.
I don't know. Are they watching me, or is my credit card have a camera in it? I don't. Is it my microphone?
Wait a minute. The guy handed you a chalice, and then you saw an ad to buy on the subway or on your phone.
On the bodega. Oh yeah, on my cell phone on Facebook. I see one of these fucking ads. You explained it. I don't know. Does Facebook?
Yeah.
I don't even think I talked about it.
Yeah.
Even like can they take about that phone having the microphone with a passive hookup and the NSA is listening and they fucking. I don't even think
you're not buying coincidence here, no?
It's possible, but a Stella Artois chalice?
Yeah,
it's probably a better word for it. What do they call it? A fucking glass?
Chalice is good.
Yeah. Then why would they advertise to you if you already had one?
Right.
Maybe it's a glitch in the system.
I mean, look,
that's just them kind of figuring out their.
What, I have a nice woman over in my apartment, and like she'll have the chalice and I'll have a Dixie cup.
Yeah.
No, I need two.
You need another one. Yeah. Right. We noticed that a man from a bodega handed you a chalice. Would you like another one?
Re-up.
Yeah. I haven't had that happen. I mean, the most that's happened to me is like, you'll be on a website and they'll be like, don't you want to see that again? Like they're not even like hiding it.
Right.
Yeah. So,
somebody's got that bit.
You'll make sure you don't give him an extra minute here.
Yeah.
No, I know.
Keep him down to the hour.
Yeah.
Somebody's got that bit about like once you buy a TV on Amazon, how it'll advertise more TVs to you.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like Kumail or something like that.
Okay.
Well, he's doing very well, so it's going to be a great bit.
Right. They're like, Kumail, would you like a 75th television in your mansion? Because you don't.
That does make sense now.
Academy Award winner nominee. Kumail.
Yeah.
Always preface that.
Nominee.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a big deal.
I don't want to trash him because I like that movie.
No, I like the movie. I like him a lot.
Good.
Some guy on Twitter goes, let's not forget who the real victims of terrorist attacks are. The brown guy from Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, the internet's very funny. But yeah, so where the fuck was I? So I think people are now starting to realize like it's kind of bullshit, especially with that bodega that came out a few years ago.
Right.
It was like we're gonna change the way you buy stuff.
Well, it's like
now you don't have to make eye contact with a 14-year-old from Yemen.
The idea is like it's a fucking box. It's like a vending machine, but it's got panties in it or like stuff everyone needs.
Toothpaste.
Yeah.
Ray Google, do you sell panties?
Well, it's supposedly
you can buy Karen Fiend's used panties.
Yeah,
can have one every 1,000 within 100 feet of every person.
Well, that's the thing is, I don't know how the plan's going, but the idea is like they're gonna have one every 100 feet, which I don't understand.
Okay.
That was the idea. So like eventually, that within 100 feet of anywhere you are in America, I guess.
Yeah.
Even in Montana, still like just rows and rows of them.
Perfect. But it's creating jobs.
Yeah. I don't was there a problem? Was there a shortage of being able to buy food in America?
Yeah.
Like why? Like I get we'll make a better vending machine, but why they need like so many of them?
I don't know. But they probably could have gotten away with it if they didn't call it bodega and have the logo be a cat. It's so
steal
fucking,
the cat too.
It's so fucking arrogant.
What was the logo?
The logo was a cat and it said bodega. Yeah.
It really is just.
And Matt, what did they say about when they did the?
I'll look that up real fast.
Research. They go.
It's so fucking pretentious.
They were like, are you worried that it's like the name is offensive? They're like, no, we did some polling in Latin communities, and no one sees it as a negative thing.
It really is like because everyone hates social justice, whatever you want to call it. It's annoying.
Yeah,
but every opportunity they're giving, like rich white guys just make the most tone deaf fucking choices you ever heard in your life.
Right.
Just bodega, a cat. We're stealing your jobs.
Yeah. Right.
Paul McDonald and Ashwath Rajan.
I guess they're not white, but
one of them's not
but
white.
Ray, you guessed it. Who's going to get checked next for their privilege?
They're just Indians and Chinese men or Japanese, whatever. They're doing very well. Asians.
Yeah.
I think he's Indian.
Well. And if you want to talk about who appropriates black culture,
with Asian rappers,
it ain't us as much. Yeah. But
we did surveys in Latin American communities to understand if they felt the name was a misappropriation of the term, and 97% said no. It's a simple name, and I think it works.
They thought you were cops.
No, they just asked their cleaning lady if they were cool.
Yeah, do you think this works?
Can we call this bodega? He's like, yes, I think so.
Was that before or after you asked
yes,
them?
no problem.
Do you want to keep your job?
Yeah.
Was it right after you asked them, is this sexual assault?
No, it's okay.
Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
That's the 3 words she knows.
Right. No, it's okay. Then there was another company we probably remember from maybe about a year ago, Juicero, the $1,500 juicer that squeezed.
That's how much? It was $1,500.
It was something. No, I'm sorry. It was $700.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the top of the line juicer, though, right?
Top of the line juicer. You put a little packet in there, and it and you push a button, and it's got juice. And then someone figured out that all you have to do is squeeze the juice packet, and the juice comes out.
Well, here's the thing. It's like if you're spending $700 on a juicer, I'm not even going to go because your instinct is be like, oh, you're an asshole. Yeah. But it's like you're living a certain kind of life. You want to bring the chick over to the apartment and go, hey, you want some carrot juice?
Right.
And you have a sleep. You don't want to be fucking like squeezing it like you're milking a teat.
Right.
And go, hey, this is good carrots. You know what I mean? Let's fuck.
Yeah,
It's not going to work.
You want that clean, streamlined, kind of like no frills approach, so that you can stick your fingers in her mouth and call it the claw. Speaking of,
man, are you on Babe.com? Where are you?
Wow, Ray, you're 2 for 2 here. Speaking of Indians, yeah.
Wait, you should play the commercial. The commercial is so ridiculous.
What commercial?
For
Bodega?
The bodega commercial.
It was just music. This is a podcast.
Well, I know, but like, there's a guy doing like the ropes. You know that I felt like the
With double Dutch.
Yeah, it was it's like how like the cross trainer people they'll do this whole thing with the heavy ropes.
Right,
okay.
Right. He's saying this like I didn't think about playing the fucking commercial.
Right.
It's just music with text over it.
Just a lot of white
This
people.
fucking cocksucker thinks he
Are you the
deserves
co-host
a 10%
or the producer?
raise.
I'm.
He's a little bit of both.
Okay.
Why? Yeah.
No, just attention. It's like, really, I think maybe it's like, I don't know. Again, it's kind of like, is it Matt's fault or have you not properly checked Matt? And, now he feels emboldened to, kind of make these kind of.
I'm not sure. I have trouble. I have trouble with confrontation.
The fans love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seems like a great dynamic.
They love when I yell at this queer. Anyway.
Dude, I tell you to post something on Patreon. He writes, Matt is gay. It's our best post.
like
half the Patreon's like.
Guys, if you want quality content, please subscribe to the Patreon. It's that sitdownpod.com.
Patreon, where homophobia
Patreon.
is still alive.
Yeah.
Got to pay for it.
Right. If you want our.
You pay for it one way or another.
You guys should do that with your Patreon.
We don't have a Patreon.
Oh, okay.
We're part of a podcast network.
What is that? What are you showing me?
Just got a Patreon just now.
Oh, okay. That's not a bad idea though. Yeah. Anyway, boys. So
So we're talking about bodega still? Or we're on to this
Juicero.
No,
anyway, all the thing did was squeeze the juice packet.
Well, the thing is, some tech I was reading about it, some engineer took it apart. He's like, no, this is a very well engineered machine. It just doesn't need to be it's not like they bought some fucking thing. It's just like hitting a lever.
Right.
Like, apparently, this thing is very technologically advanced. But just because no one did any cost cutting during their you watch Silicon Valley, it's just all these fucking startups and just hey, here's $1 trillion. Go
Sounds
make
like someone invested in Juicero.
Look, what do you want to do? You want to get carrot juice in your leg, and then you go pick up your kids, and you look like an asshole.
Kids would get Ray in front of a board.
Yeah, Ray, we did a background check on you, and
pass the pass.
500 shares of Juicero in your account.
It's a quality product.
So anyway, so a few months ago, I read this article about the East Salem Institute. It's all these like CEOs from Silicon Valley, and they all go to like Big Sur, California, and they meditate and they eat fucking artisan bread, and they like they fix their souls and all that kind of thing. So it's like it's this new group of rich people who feel this like social responsibility, which is probably worse than the Wall Street guys.
Yeah, because look, at least those guys know where they're making money.
And they're kind of a little more honest about who they are.
Right. Like they're not going to tell you they're helping China by like fucking, making them build, Walmarts or whatever the fuck, T-shirts in fucking Bangladesh.
Yeah.
But I know China and Bangladesh are different countries, by the way. But
they are?
Yeah, some of us are still learning.
Yeah.
But no, with like these fucking tech guys, they're all just like, look, here's the thing. They're smart guys, but they act like they got the right idea.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm sure you watch the social network. Okay, he made a streamlined MySpace. He used Harvard EDU. We get it. You're a genius.
Yeah.
But they act like they built a fucking, the light bulb.
Right.
And it's like, you got lucky. Good for you.
Right.
You deserve your money. But now they think they're like these fucking like gurus who are going to like fucking change the 21st century.
And that was the thing. I mean, I just noticed that recently, like every article you read about these guys for maybe the past 5 years was like, look what this 23-year-old is doing. Right. This 23-year-old is changing the way you receive packages. And it's like, that guy just has, these guys have so much money to fucking fail.
Yeah.
To just fuck around with and do whatever. For whatever idea he thought of that worked, there's probably like 10 or 12 that were just dog shit.
There's this kid who like when he was 19 or 20, the garbage pile in the Pacific, which apparently is way smaller than they were making it out to be.
That kid's first idea was just pictures of his aunt's bush.
I like that idea better.
I know. He sits his father down. He's like, all right, Dad, I got this idea. Dad, you're always telling me to make my own money, right?
She's a beautiful woman.
Dad, I don't understand. I don't want to work at this grocery store. I want to start a business like you. He just took pictures of his aunt's bush.
Aunt Tina don't gotta know. It's not her business.
It's all Voyager.
What?
It's like she doesn't even know about the pictures.
No,
he's just taking of course not. Just wears no panties and fucking eats Pop-Tarts in her fucking skirt.
Dad, I just need 10 grand to make this work. Yeah, that would be better if they could do that instead of the fucking horse shit that they create. That stuff makes me so angry because there's also this idea that like they're like saving the economy or something and they're helping poor people, which is like complete horse shit, I think.
No, look, because what they're doing, I mean, and it's very clear now, is they basically build a platform for like Russian bots to fucking come in and like, regardless of politics, they're coming in and fucking, at the very least swaying an election, but they're also just completely, they're like, it's basically like they've absorbed all your data, right? Like they just suck all your data up and they just leave the door unlocked.
Right.
And just like, hey, whatever. And like, so like, why do you think you're having all these Experian and TransCredit and fucking all this? Everyone's fucking, my social security number's been fucked 15 times before I fucking wake up. Everyone's got my shit. Now I have bad credits. What the fuck do I care? But if you're some guy with kids and a wife, and you fucking...
I mean, I've been saying it for like 10 years. Computers are fucking gay, all right?
So, 10 years ago, just screaming.
You were saying that when like the iPad came out?
2008.
Computers are gay.
I know.
Computers are gay.
I just hate it so much because I'm finally after 10 years in New York, I'm finally starting to like embrace technology a little bit. Like, that's why I got him.
Did you not have
I can't just scream. I can't just do open mics forever.
What town in Jersey do you come from? There's no electricity and like fucking internet.
Well, no, but
computers are gay.
That's a good question. I mean, I'm from Hamilton, which is like a suburb of Trenton, but like all my life, my dad is in banking and my mom is a fucking teacher. But
they don't have computers in banking.
No, but that's the thing. My dad never taught me any of his stuff, and then my mom was always like,
"Your dad's a banker?
What?
Your dad's a banker? I thought you came from a line of garbage men."
That's what everybody thinks.
How far did the apple fall?
I've never listen.
You're talking about dad. Like, I don't know what he's doing out there. No, my family came over in the Mayflower. We're not even Italian.
Listen, I've never lied about who I am, okay? We have an in-ground pool. We do all right. We're like
in Jersey.
We have a humble little 4-bedroom house in
they
Jersey.
own?
Jesus,
it's like a little rancher in Jersey. It's not. I didn't.
It sounds
really,
wonderful.
Do they own?
I didn't.
Wait,
yeah,
Hamilton's
they own
like-
the house.
okay.
Listen,
Wow, that's rich.
I would think about Hamilton's like a nice suburb, isn't it?
there's parts of it that are nice. I'm from the nice part, and then there's parts of it that are like working class. Listen,
wow, this is I'm
look,
changing minds over here.
Yeah. My family's not rich, but we're like upper middle class.
Sure.
That sucks that you didn't get any money.
And my
to
dad
fuck
had
around
some
with.
stock in Halliburton. I told
Really?
you that.
You're stock in Halliburton?
Yeah.
Oh, you told me that, but I assumed it was like
Did very
your
well when
dad
those
was
kids
like
got
grease
born.
on his fingers, is like looking in the stock papers, going like, "Oh, they're fucking me."
He's like, he just finds stocks in the trash.
He's on break from a warehouse. All right, listen, I got a little tip.
Hey, this Iraq war's gonna be good for us.
Hey, listen, Jimmy, they're gonna invade Iraq. They're gonna blow up a lot of kids. All right, listen, there's a little company. It's called Evan Williams was telling me he was in a lift, like a shared lift. There was this Asian girl in there who was like, he said she was like kind of a bitch, and this driver from Long Island, and he goes, "Hey, you're Asian, right?" He goes, "Let me tell you this joke because a client told me the other day." He goes, she goes, and she was Asian. She's like, "How do you tell if an Asian's a bad driver? You put a windshield in front of her." I don't know, something like that. Anyway, like didn't even get the joke right. Yeah. Anyway, shout out to
I haven't had a white fucking Uber or Lyft driver in fucking years.
You haven't? Yeah, he said the guy was from Long Island or something.
I
I had one.
I wonder why she was a bitch.
Yeah. What do you mean?
The Asian girl in the car. Evan said she was a bitch. She was kind of a bitch.
Yeah, she was kind of snotty.
I wonder why.
Why?
Well, because she just got that joke. I thought.
No, she was kind of a cunt first. He thought maybe she was trolling her.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Hey, you got a sideways cunt, right?
It's like
So,
now you know, total bitch.
so how come you weren't? So I don't want to be invasive here. How come you weren't like thrown off a cliff when you were born?
Are you like a genius or something?
Did you show strong verbal skills? I don't know. I mean, you know, excuse my.
Thoughts and prayers.
Anyway, where the hell were we? No, I've never been dishonest about who I was. I just, but also like, you know, I've been working since I was because now I feel like we got like.
Is this a situation where your dad like
different.
Your dad like wanted you to like go work at the company he was taking over? Just to get, but then you just liked it so much, you just kind of kept picking up garbage.
He's like, you're gonna start here and work your way up. He's like, you're supposed to be working your way up. How come you're handing out Nazi propaganda at work? Like,
you're making sauce. We own ragu.
No, I guess like, well, my dad. Okay, so to answer your earlier question about why I don't embrace technology, my dad is in finance, and then my mom was always like. My mom's like just kind of a fucking idiot who doesn't really think very hard. Nice lady. You would really like her.
I'd love to meet her.
What?
I'd love to meet her.
You know, and like also she had to raise a fucking retarded kid. So I always think like, you know, how different my life would be.
I've watched documentaries where like parents are like, you know, they say like if we could choose for him to have died in the womb, we would have totally said yes.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that your parents would have, but it's tough is my point.
No, they're more like my mom's like, I want to kill him now.
It's getting old.
I want to drown him, but he's too strong. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a tough thing to go through. And also like there's this there's people online that'll be like, because when Stephen Hawking died, people are like, oh, you're free from your wheelchair now. And people are like, it's not a bad thing to be disabled. And
Yes,
I'm like,
it is.
yes, it
Yes,
fucking
it
is.
is.
Yes, it fucking is. It ruined my life. And
I wasn't even in the wheelchair.
what? I wasn't even like
I love this idea of like
I wasn't even the one eating the crayons.
I love this idea of walking up to a guy in a wheelchair. Like, would you like to walk? It's like, I'm fine.
My dad's like, Mike, happy birthday! I got you that box of Crayola crayons you wanted, the 96, 92 crayons.
Oh,
My brother ate them.
You got secondhand smoke equivalent.
Yeah,
Is he retarded and in a wheelchair or just retarded?
he's not in a wheelchair. He's just he's like an Avante autism.
Avante.
Yeah, nonverbal.
Oh, really?
Remember the kid? Remember the kid?
He can't talk?
He can talk. He can say words and phrases, but yeah, mostly no, can't talk. Yeah. So anyway,
do you like have a? No, I was thinking.
Go ahead. Do
no,
it. We got an edit button.
Do you have to keep him constrained ever?
Yeah, sometimes he gets like kind of physical and violent stuff like that. So I don't know what to do about it. But
hit him.
Yeah, no. Yeah. There should be some.
Oh, you mean like morally?
Well, I'm not around. Like he's not. My parents are in their 60s. My mom,
Yeah, no, it's good.
It's 64. My dad's 65, and
they gotta start working out.
What?
They gotta start working out.
They gotta do something. There should be some kind of like retard stick. Hello, sharks.
That's a training program. Do you ever find that you're
Hi,
lacking
sharks.
in
My name is
motivation?
Michael Recine from Hamilton, New Jersey, and and this is my mom, Barbara. We've invented the retard stick.
What is it? It's a stick with Oxycontin on it.
when you've locked yourself in your bathroom because you told your retarded son that he can't have any more Fruit Loops, and he's bashing his head against the walls, and you think he might, and you think he might be. You think he might break down the door this time and snap your neck? Well, say hello to the retard stick. It's got and then it's got like a like a taser on one end and then a tranquilizer on the other end. Yeah.
Barbara would be like, I don't have a retarded son. For that reason, I'm out. She wouldn't invest.
Kevin's like, listen, your production costs are great. Listen, I mean, those margins are fantastic.
How many units have you sold?
Yeah. And then Robert Hersheybeck would be like, I'm gay. That's right. Suck my dick, Shark Tank. All right. I feel like there's more there, but maybe we got to move on. Anyway, okay.
Where were we? The Easton Institute? Or Elin? How do you say that?
East Salem, yeah. It's a bunch of these.
Right, so you didn't like computers.
Do you know Malajeski?
Yeah.
I did a moving job with him like recently, and we were just unloading this gay couple's U-Haul that came in from Madison, Wisconsin.
Gay men?
Two gay men, yeah. And we're talking about like tech and stuff, and he calls Mark Zuckerberg a cocksucker. He's like, Mark Zuckerberg with his cocksucker grin. And I don't know if the guy's heard us or not, but after the job, the guy goes, here's the money and some change. And they tipped us like $15 to split.
That's not
And
great.
I was like, they heard you. And they're usually good tippers.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
$15 isn't a
I
good
mean,
tip.
they may be corrupting our kids, but if you work in the service industry,
well, no, yeah,
and you got a couple homosexuals, you give those gentlemen good treatment.
It's like I picture like a gay guy just like in a nice suit, like putting like slipping 100 in your pocket and going like, "I'm gonna fuck your son now."
Right. What, your retarded son?
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna love it.
Ray, I don't know. That was kind of problematic.
Well,
Anyway,
is consent not like a thing? That's the thing. I mean, it is complicated because all kidding aside, he can't consent, but I mean that's just the prison for him sexually.
Right. Now I know we are. Now listen, I know we're a mafia podcast, and we haven't once mentioned organized crime. Anyway, where were we? Oh, okay. So so my brother sends me this article about Summit. It's this convention where kind of like the tech elites will go to convene. They call it Davos for millennials. Which is like, I mean, you know more about this stuff than I do, I think, but like, isn't part of the fun of Davos being that you can just like go and fuck kids and
I don't think that's Davos. I think it's more like Bohemian Grove. Davos is like the world. I forget what it's called. It's like the World Economic Summit or some shit like that.
Okay.
It's I'm sure they fuck kids, but it's not it's more like that's. It's not the.
But imagine if you went to Davos and you got and there's no whores.
Oh,
how bad would you be?
Right.
Yeah.
No, there's high class whores at Davos. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But it's like. Yeah, they're not advertising the kids fucking in like during the convention.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta ask the right questions.
Right. Well, this is kind of what's annoying about these people is like they go to these it says guests pay $3,000 to $8,000 for access to 3-day flagship events hosted everywhere from beaches in Tulum, Mexico to cruise ships in the Caribbean. But every person who comes is screened to make sure that you have like a socially conscious sort of let me find out.
Here's the thing. This is like, I don't think they charge you for Bohemian Grove or this shit. Like, I feel like,
I don't know, but this thing specifically.
This sounds like a scam.
Here it is. Applicants. It is a scam. Applicants to Summit are screened and interviewed to ensure they display the correct psychographic quote or mindset for the events. It is pitched as an entertaining ideas festival, comparable to TED and Burning Man, featuring speakers such as Quentin Tarantino, Jane Fonda, Peter Thiel, and Jeff Bezos. I think Jessica Alba was there too. So it's a bunch of rich people doing mushrooms with Jessica Alba, but
they also get to fuck kids.
But it's also
But they're not allowed to like. It's discouraged to like show pictures of your expensive sports car or your nice house or whatever they want.
That's the gimmick. This is immediately clear to me that this is like a tier, at best, a tier 2 CEO thing. Because like no one's. It's not like if you're fucking Zuckerberg, you're fucking the guy who made Juicero. Like if you're a big player, is my point. They're courting you. They want you to come into the store. No one's asking you for fucking $5,000 to fucking come do fucking water skiing with us. No, it's a fucking exclusive event for them to like talk. They're trying to make it have to be some kind of like cloak and dagger fucking guys behind the curtain bullshit pulling the strings of America.
Yeah. No,
this is just some fucking. This is like you said, like they said, Burning Man for fucking rich tech fucking dorks.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Jessica Alba, she's got tits. Come pay us $20,000.
No, but that's all it is. But the idea that they're like no, but we're like good people. It kind of ruins being rich, doesn't it?
I mean, part of it is that's the new currency is being this granola crunching, fucking quinoa in your asshole, fucking just like you like. It's more about the size of your dick is related.
Hi, I'm Jeff Bezos for quinoa in your asshole. We're changing the way you consume quinoa.
But the whole idea is like it's not your dick size anymore; it's your carbon footprint, and you're like, how big of a? It's sociopathic.
How small of it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just another thing to like batter people with. That's the difference of this economy now. It's the idea
because they're doing nothing for anybody.
Right. Yeah. And it's the idea that we're going to like use social justice and like positive ideas as a battering ram to just like fucking crush like any kind of, you eat red meat and you fucking watch football? We're going to fuck you.
I sort of do this thing on the show where I don't listen to people when they're talking because I'm thinking about my next point. But that was a good point. Thank you. Anyway,
what?
All right. So
I was gonna say Pepsi. They're trying to like save rivers and stuff, and they're like, for every ounce of Pepsi that we make, we're gonna save 1 ounce of river water.
Well, by not dumping their shit into it in the first place?
Exactly. I mean, like you said, they're trying to use
this.
Buy
our shit or we're going to poison the water.
We're going to turn the river's Mountain Dew.
Yeah. So here's what I said. I tweeted. I was like, the mafia did more for poor people than Silicon Valley ever will.
Sure.
And some guy was like, "Is this serious? Like they gave people a platform and a way to voice their opinions." And it's like, yeah, but wages have not gone up. Everyone's getting squeezed.
Right.
We're still being looted. So it's like this idea that because a couple people have a fucking YouTube channel now, that the world's a better place.
Well, the Arab Spring, it's like fucking, you allow them to, well, not allow them, but you give them
you allow them.
No, but you give these people a platform to like get together, or Twitter and Facebook, and they get like everyone, we brought down a dictator. You replace them with a fucking general. It's a fucking coup. Mm-hmm. No one ends up better off. Yeah. Gaddafi gets fucked to death with a fucking lead pipe. Yeah. But like, is Libya in good shape right now? No. Like Syria is in the middle of a massive, prolonged civil war that's killed probably hundreds of thousands of people at this point. Mm-hmm. A massive refugee crisis. Mm-hmm. This Arab Spring is a complete failure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very possible that the CIA was behind it in the first place, but I digress.
Yeah.
You look at the whole, not just the election, but the entire system of news now, and the bifurcation of media in this country.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to like shit on people like a couple years ago when they'd be like, the internet's like, a force for, it's not a force for good and all this shit. Because, like, what are you going to do? Put the genie back in the bottle? But at this point, we probably would be better off getting rid of it. We're never going to, but like, it is completely amplified. It's like a weird mirror that reflects every like negative impulse we have.
Right. Ray wants to live in a world where he gets out of a movie and he's like, let me just find a payphone so I can check my answering machine.
It was a simpler time.
It was a simpler time, and it just stuff just made more sense.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm all for apps where I love Seamless.
Yeah,
I love getting chicken fingers, not to talk to anybody.
Right,
but
but at what cost, right?
I used to get Craigslist hookers all the time. I'm all
Ray's like, I don't have to talk to anybody, and the delivery guy shows up and he's like, "Hello, Mr. Kump, how are you?" He just slams the door in his face.
I used to go on Craigslist. They shut down the Craigslist personal ads this week.
Yeah, I saw that.
I used to get hookers on Craigslist. I'm an avid user of the internet. Is my point. And
just for them to censor your free speech like that.
Yeah. Well, and Pedro Salinas brought up a good point this week. He's like, Craigslist didn't make a single fucking change to anything they did, and it was like fine. You could still fuck strangers. You could still find stuff. It was all just text.
Really?
Loopholes.
Yeah.
This week you're saying?
Yeah,
because at one point they did get rid of the adult. Like it used to.
But Craigslist still looks like it like it always has.
But they got rid of the personal section, right?
Yes.
So people are just gonna like advertise that in like cars for sale. Hey, come fuck my pussy, or get a Volvo. I don't know.
Let me find out.
That's so weird about the getting rid of the personals, though.
I mean, because the whole human trafficking thing.
Personals is still up there
really?
on this at least. Men seeking men, right? Or no?
Yeah, get him, Matt.
Show me that car.
Fucking got him.
It's funny that's where your eyes went to. Anyway,
wait, never mind. U.S. Congress just passed H.R. 1865. Any tool and service can't be misused.
You're on a date.
Point is not there.
Wait, so
they took it away, right? You were right.
Yeah. So are you saying that you could be on a date with someone and she's actually being human trafficked?
Yeah. Yeah, you don't know. You think you're asking a girl out, but she's fucking got some Russian guy,
with a gun in her back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how do you end up paying for it?
Bitcoin.
Man,
something to do with Bitcoin.
Everything to do with Bitcoin. That's what I this is the other thing about how Silicon Valley doesn't help anybody. I Googled something. They were like, yeah, people are being encouraged to use blockchain to give Ethereum to Syrian refugees. It was some like bullshit sentence where it's just like, it just makes you go, this is crazy.
Right.
Yeah. So technology sucks. We got to go back to paper money, maybe bartering, maybe
hookers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hookers. So you can be on a date with like a girl from Craigslist and you're like, so who's your favorite band? And she's like, I just want to go home.
You want some more money?
I haven't heard of them.
Yeah. But then how do you end up paying if you think it's a
you don't actually. No, the point is on the personals.
There's prostitutes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, clearly prostitutes. I mean, because at one point they got rid of the adult section, like which is the prostitute section. And but people just go into like women seeking men and shit and hooked there.
Right.
But look, when I used to...
Oh, they had they were open about it, having prostitutes.
It was like a known secret, right?
Okay.
Well, it wasn't even... There was
I don't read enough.
Like 10 years ago, there was a section called like adult...
I don't read enough Craigslist ads. My father, he was very...
well-read.
He wanted me to be well-read. He said, son, you better read 10 Craigslist ads before dinner.
But no, years ago, there was an adult something section. And then they got rid of that. And then, because of pressure, I think when they had those Craigslist killers with the hookers.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so all the hookers migrated to the, personal section. And now that's gone. But, so you go to their motel and you think you're, giving them a terrible bang.
Yeah.
But really, you're engaging in some kind of, like, global trafficking. Yeah, but, I'm not hurting anyone, but,
No.
I mean, literally, with my, I'm making a cop joke. But.
You're right.
It's terrible. I feel bad. I've done it over a decade. I feel bad. It was a young guy. He was like, look, I can. But I feel bad about it now because sometimes I watched The Wire. I'm like, oh, was I part of that?
Right.
I don't know. You didn't think about it at the time. I was a dumb kid.
Right.
Was I part of that? Was I part of supporting a black mayor?
Shit.
Oh my God! Did my actions get more? Anyway, we got a lot to cover here, boys.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was actually in this article about Summit, there's a guy named Ramit Shalwa. He is a Silicon Valley guy who is the CEO of an app designing company, and he's sort of like an Instagram celebrity a little bit. It's funny if you go on his Instagram, Ramit Shalwa, Chawla. Just check out that Instagram for a second because it's like
how do you spell REMIT?
RAMEETCHAW.
Hold on.
All right.
All right.
RAMEET.
Yeah. CHAWLA.
I got you. Looks like Justin Lanza.
Yeah, he's a little bit of an Instagram celebrity, and it's just like it's funny because it's
Wait,
like
this
he
guy's
looks.
for real?
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't look like most rich people, but you can tell. Like, I mean, you can tell this guy's life is just a fucking black hole.
He's dressed like Moses would be dressed in a fucking 1930s fucking movie.
He looks like the guru.
No, it's insane. And he's like a millionaire. He's dressed like a mermaid.
Look at this scumbag.
He's a scumbag.
He's got the thickest beard ever.
He's dressed like Serpentor from G.I. Joe.
Damn, he's here. He's dressed up as he's appropriating our culture.
He's dressed up as.
He's just dressed up as Santa.
So this guy, this clown.
He's like, I can't wait for Indians to be the new white people. I can be like, excuse me, you think it's okay to dress up as Santa? Santa's white. Santa doesn't make software. He's appropriating our culture. Hell yeah, Matt. Matt, hell yeah.
Shut up.
Matt, let the darkness flow through you. So he goes to Summit and he says,
this guy's American born, right?
Yes. And he comes to Summit and he goes, yeah, they had coconut water, so I was on board.
Fuck, clown.
Yeah. He goes,
coconut water's been a thing for over a decade. What's he talking about?
Yeah, no, I think you were reading more from that earlier.
Yeah, the guy who wrote the article said he was on deck casually talking to the founder of a not-for-profit company whose career had been this is the Ramit talking. He was talking to a not-for-profit company whose career had been devoted to, quote, building schools in Africa or something like that. I felt so embarrassed to say, oh, I run a technology company. I build apps. It was just so purposeless. It felt so selfish. What was I doing? So what does he do? He makes an app.
This is good.
Shalwa said the first thing he did when he got off the boat was set up his own now defunct not-for-profit company, Charity Swearbox. It was a website connected to Twitter that would monitor how often a user swears in their tweets and recommend they make a donation to charity. I would have never spent the time and effort to do that had I not come to Summit, he says. This guy rules.
This is the most trivial,
yeah,
fucking app. Like, yeah. So I don't even know where to start with this. Like, you give money or don't. Like, I'll only give to Africa if I fucking say the word cunt.
Right.
Like, fuck yourself.
Also, it's like, yeah, everybody swears all the time. Yeah.
It's like,
now if it was the N-word.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, my God. You're right. I did say it. I'll give some money to Africa.
Right, here's my new app. My new app is called Celebrity N-Word Jar.
Oh, my God.
Tonight, it's a special episode of Shark Tank, non-profit edition. Hello, sharks. I found a way to track who says the N-word, and then we blackmail them and give it to St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
Damon, I think you'll especially be interested in this one.
This way these kids can profit off racism.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
But it's like, yeah, that's very funny that he thought that was a good idea.
He makes money for him, right? I mean, like it's a stupid good idea, right?
I mean, here's the thing: the 20th century, people act as if like, look, it's gone too far, and people, the rich people are too rich, the poor people are too poor. But 100 years ago, people were starving to death. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like the idea that like the industrialization of the fruit of agriculture and the food process, it's led to a situation where like people, at least in the Western world, don't starve anymore.
People are still starving to death, though.
In Africa. Yeah. And like,
we're paying our farmers not to farm all they can, we're subsidizing farms.
My point is the standard of living for poor people in this country is still way higher than other places.
Right.
And it's not to say we're such a great country.
Yeah.
But the point is like, there is a net effect of capitalism, benefiting people.
Right.
It doesn't mean we shouldn't moderate it. We shouldn't have regulations and stuff.
Yeah, but
my point is, they say, I'm not producing anything trivial. It's like, well, yeah, your app, your stupid app is trivial, but if businesses are like thriving off of it, you're creating. If you're making businesses more productive because they have better apps,
right?
They're like, there's nothing. People have like completely gotten away from the idea that capitalism is like an engine of. I mean, it's not an engine for good, but it can be. It's an engine of productivity, which makes people able to leverage their labor more. Through using machines or using apps, using computers. This idea of like leveraging your effort. So the point is, it's like, yeah, your thing is trivial, but if it was good, which it seems like he was making money off of it, you do like, but no, I'll fucking say the M word and I'll fucking give a candy bar to some kid in Ghana. Like that's better.
I'm just saying, 10,000 years ago, before Jews were invented, okay, every person was able to like live off the earth and survive, and there was enough.
That's not true. They were dying all the time.
Were they?
Yeah, they were getting eaten by bears and tigers, and when their crops didn't come in, they were just starving.
But
look at the pilgrims. Look how many pilgrims died.
But ideally, there's enough resources for everybody to have to sustain a living.
Yeah, when you had like 3,000 people in the world, sure.
Right. Interesting. Well, the world can be kind of a tough place sometimes. It's like you feel like it's like you look for the good, but you're like, where is it?
Yeah.
Who's doing good stuff?
Facebook.
Who's helping anyone? You know, like these guys like to think that they are, but really, are they really doing anything for anybody?
Sure.
And
so who did something that really did help?
What I'd like to do now is talk about some people who are making a difference in the world, and I'd like to start with the Japanese Yakuza.
Ah.
Yeah. So in 2011, there was an earthquake, and a couple factions of the Yakuza, one of them the Yamaguchi Gumi, Japan's oldest crime family, started sending truckloads of supplies to the cities that were affected. But quietly and without any fanfare, they sent 50 tons of tea and food and drinking water and diapers. And a Yamaguchi Gumi member said, "Please don't say any more than we are doing our best to help. Right now, no one wants to be associated with us, and we'd hate to have our donations rejected out of hand." So there is some good in the world.
I mean, to be fair, they stole them from those areas in the first place, probably. But it's nice to give them back.
Yeah. And just to correct you, this is from the 1995 Kobe earthquake. You said 2006. I think that's just when the article was.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It says 2000. You said 2011, but it's the 1995 Kobe earthquake.
Well, you really derailed this segment, didn't you?
Not that it matters. It's just like they were helping after.
Yeah, all right. Sorry.
Doesn't matter.
It's great flow. Just I'm gonna bring this up. I mean, you knew. I got the rundown before the show. You knew about this going in. You let Mike make this statement so you can try and make him look like an asshole.
Right. Dude, he's a social climber. Yeah. He's trying to undermine me.
I don't know what he thinks he's getting from your shoulders, but
Right, Matt, get in the fucking car. We're going to the woods.
No.
Get out of the car, you fucking cunt.
Get him, Ray. According to Robert Whiting's book Tokyo Underworld and Tim Weiner's Legacy of Ashes, the U.S. government even brought in the services of one famous Yakuza fixer, Yoshio Kodama, to keep Japan from going communist to maintain order. So, that's a good thing. This was at a time when like the government really wasn't doing much for the town. They were sort of locked in this stalemate. Right. Where I think it was like this, the local government and the federal government were like both trying to sort of pass off responsibility.
Right. Probably because they have all these Yakuzas there, like bothering them. Like, hey, the federal government's not doing anything for you. It's like you're literally killing the government tax guys.
Yeah, you do look at like the humanitarian work that some of these guys do, and most of it probably is like a publicity.
Well, who was the guy making like Thanksgiving? Was it the guy from American Gangster who give Thanksgiving like turkeys to everyone or whatever?
That's cool.
Denzel Washington?
Yeah. Well, thanks for the turkey. I mean, one out of every $5 goes to the mafia in New York City. But thanks for the turkey.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the thing. Wasn't before the whole Giuliani came in. Maybe not 1 out of 5, but there was a big, maybe 1 out of $10 every time. Like the amount of money that would go got siphoned off by the mob. They calculated it out sometime. It was astronomical.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it was at least.
And you're pro Turkey. With the mob.
Well, I mean, look, the turkey's a nice thing, and maybe and they probably gave you some stuffing, a little cranberry.
Yeah. I mean, they're not going to short you.
I mean, worst case, look, at least if that's all.
No, what happened was they took down Frank Lucas because he was giving out stovetop stuffing instead of the homemade stuff, and they were like, "You fucking piece of shit."
But fucking, that's the thing. Like, they do that for a reason.
Right.
I mean, that's like the government is a type of mafia. And so and if they're going to be more, amenable to the people and more directly responsible to the people, then I guess it's a good thing.
Yeah. Hearts and minds, right? You got to win their hearts and minds.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, the Yakuza is not great. One thing they do is they buy unwanted Chinese daughters and sell them into sex slavery. We were talking about that before the show.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually
not
positive.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, no.
Okay.
I mean,
this is an interesting debate. Yeah, all right. You go first.
Well, look, I mean, should anyone be sold into sex slavery? No.
Yeah.
But let's be clear. We're talking about people who be thrown off cliff. I mean, look, I could have China wrong. Maybe I'm getting propaganda here. But I've heard they throw women into rivers.
It's a one-child policy out there.
So they just murder the daughters a lot of the time.
Some Chinese father's like, I'm sorry, I have to give you up. You will have better life being. This is not a good Chinese accent. I thought I was better.
That was the problem.
That North Dakota accent?
I don't know what the fuck it was.
Fargo over here.
Dude,
I'm not Chinese American born.
Dude, I've never done Chinese on the spot like that. That was embarrassing.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you got to pull your eyes back, Mike.
You're a special lady.
Hold on. Oh, see, that's what I was doing. I wasn't pulling my eyes back.
It's like, oh, I understand the accent now.
Well, because I mean, usually Eastern European is my go-to for like sad circumstances. Sex slaves. Yeah.
You could do like a Japanese whaler pretty easily. Like, oh,
so what, these babies are so like when you go to like one of those massage parlors in Thailand or whatever the fuck. It's just like, they're probably like programmed from birth to be sex slaves.
Why does China get rid of so many daughters though? I mean, you would think they would need.
No, they don't carry the last name. Right.
Well, yeah,
right, but then it's going to be all dudes.
They had that problem
no
though.
Pussy.
Well, yeah, they have. That's part of the problem.
China, all dudes, no pussy.
All these Chinese men are like fucking. It's like the Arab world or the Middle East.
Yeah,
it's like just a bunch of hard up men just fucking.
What do they do?
They get angry and they fucking fuck each other maybe or animals or I don't know, or probably just I don't know. Go leave the country. It's not great. There's no good answer.
Right. There's government subsidized transgender surgery.
Yeah, they take the failed Yakuza people and make them into sex slaves.
I'm just embarrassed that I can't do a Chinese accent. But he's like, someday my daughter will have a better life. Not for this shit. Not for our fans, right? You're like, I'm deleting my Patreon until you figure out your Chinese accent.
Drop the R, motherfucker.
You fucking fraud. You fucking stink.
Let's put some of your Chinese accent goes on Patreon.
Tell your half a queer producer to get you some accent tapes. Anyway, yeah, but he's like, oh, you have a better life being ejaculated. But I was saying this before. You go to Chinatown, all those women are slaves in one way or another. Yeah, so it's like
slave to the dumpling.
No little girls growing up going like, I want to grow up to like cut like heads off fish in the middle of fucking on like Chambers Street, wherever the fuck it is.
Right. Yeah. It's so funny, like like people move here from the Midwest, probably like, yo, we got to go to Vanessa's dumplings. You get like 7 dumplings for $1 for like, honestly, for like $1.25.
Yeah, you do the math and you're like, there's like 10 of them back there working. Like they all got a quarter for each dumpling.
Yeah, you're whimpering.
Yeah,
right. Dude, these are pretty fucking good. Do you have any sriracha? And they're made by man. Life is terrible. I'm so happy I get to be a podcaster. Anyway, but it's probably almost better to be a Chinese sex slave than a Chinese anything else.
Yeah, I mean, look,
I'm sure the hours are better.
There's a lot of stereotypes about Chinese sexual organs. Mm-hmm. You know,
forgot my windows open, by the way.
Yeah, but I noticed as soon as you shouted computers are gay. I was like, oh man,
a bunch of pitchforks around.
All right. I don't feel like getting up.
No, but I mean, look, you could do worse. I mean, a sex slave. This sounds terrible. No, It's bad. Can we agree that?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't want to get on the side of the Chinese.
I don't know. I just feel like
slavery.
comedy is about seeing the silver lining and stuff.
Sure. Okay. So here's why it's good. Here's the pros.
Silver lining of sex slave.
I mean, look, you're building an iPhone in what Famicom they call that place, or what's that factory they're bringing to America? Where everyone's killing them, Digicom or fucking
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. There's a famous factory in China where they build the iPhone.
Okay.
And people they put nets on the thing because they jump off the building because people just live there. It's like a giant city factory, and people just build iPhones all day and then kill themselves at night.
Right.
And so that's probably worse than getting some Chinese dick.
Yeah.
They don't want.
They're bringing it to the U.S.
Huh?
They're bringing it to the
Oh
U.S.
yeah, it was fun. Look, if you look it up, look up when Trump. When he did the whole remember Charlottesville, how he didn't say anything.
He's going to bring back coal jobs.
He might bring that too, but he's like, he didn't say anything, and we got mad. Then he came out and was like, it's not good what happened. Everyone's like, you're okay.
Yeah.
And then the next day, he's doubled down on the opposite again. He's like, actually, these fucking alt-right guys are great. He led into that speech with we're bringing this Chinese factory to America. People jump. I mean, he didn't mention the suicides.
But we stole some of their jobs. And it's for 47 cents an hour.
Yeah.
Also, most of the economy is service anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we can't compete with this fucking factory over there,
Right.
One good thing is we wouldn't have Liam Neeson movies. We wouldn't have Taken.
Wait, so they're gonna bring that factory over to America. So do we have enough Chinese people to work there?
Well, I think that's the idea. Is that we'll get some Chinese people. We'll get the Chinese sex slaves to come over too. It's a whole ecosystem. It's like building a biodome.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
What's the thing where you fuck and you get really close to coming and then you
edging.
Yeah. So that's how Korean deli owners can work so many hours.
I don't even know what that means.
Oh, they're all just edging to stay awake.
They're all just jerking off all day?
They're all just edging all day. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway.
What a take.
All right. Well, maybe the Yakuza is not the best people, but there's another group here that's doing some pretty good work. The Somali pirates.
Yeah.
Right, Matt?
That's right. I gave you a clip, right?
Yeah, but go ahead. Go ahead and tell us what you know about them.
Yeah, okay, so these pirates weren't all that bad, right? We're trying to look for the silver lining. These guys, they pirated the coast because people were taking too many fish. They're coming in and stealing their fish, decimating their ecosystem.
The government of Somalia collapsed when, in 2011?
Yeah.
It wasn't that great before that either.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
How does the government just collapse, though? Are people just all right, that's it, go home?
It's the government building's just a hut.
Yeah.
It just falls over.
I mean, it's basically just looting.
Wow, that was really fucked up. You think Africa is just how much people run around in huts? Matt, it's a very advanced... Africa's a very advanced country, okay?
I mean...
It's a country.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, about what's good about them?
Stuff,
okay, yeah. So they decimated the...
well, there was no governments, and then corporations started dumping all their garbage.
Yep.
Somalia was a real Matt's mom, if you will.
Fuck you.
Everybody would just dump all their stuff on it.
Yeah, so pirates came. And they got to make the land better. So what they do is they steal and they rebuild the economy.
Yeah.
And
Somalia was Matt's mom. People were just dumping stuff all over it, dumping their cum, their shit, and their garbage. No one said anything, and then the pirate showed up, and she was like, "Thank God."
Yeah.
Somalia,
there's too much cum for other people to come and dump their cum.
Dude, can we make that the episode title?
Sorry.
Is your mom actually a big whore, or is that just the...
No, of course not. She's a nice old lady.
How old is she?
She's like 78.
Jesus, what are you, 25?
I'm 32. So.
All right, still very old.
I know. Yeah, I was an oops baby.
Somalia was the Matt's mom of Africa.
I'll make a note of that.
So Matt was an oops baby because
raped by a Somali pirate.
Well, no,
no, look at me. Look at me.
I am your father now. No, people she went through a long day of having cum and garbage dumped on top of her, and then she went to the Burger King where she showers, and they just happened to be closed. So some cum that was on her migrated into her.
Here's praying.
Vagina.
None of my family knows what a podcast is.
Well, I mean, it's so old, they're probably dead.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure your 78-year-old mother is really, yeah.
Oh, you just go onto Apple, you download the app.
She's a Gomite. Your mom's a Gomite.
Real ass dude.
Real ass dude of the week. Matt's mom. You know how much cum and garbage this woman's pussy can hold.
Something funny about my mom listening to like Legion of Skanks.
I'm just picturing her finding this podcast by like trying to find naked pictures of you on the internet. And what? You just stumbled on the podcast.
She probably put a lot of them up there.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
little tiny dick.
Matt in a bath.
So anyway, so that's kind of what happened. So, I mean, it does kind of feel like when you look at terrorism and shit like that, it's always kind of done by pretty desperate people.
Yeah, I mean, or people funded by the CIA mostly, but you know, but yeah, I mean, the pirates, like we love to have the Tom Hanks movie, which I didn't see, but you know,
yeah,
I assume Tom Hanks is
a wonderful piece of American propaganda.
Yeah, I'm sure Tom Hanks is like basically, you know, the guy from Apollo 13, just going, hey, let's go. But like, you know, they're not showing like the corporate, you know. I mean, look at Black. Remember Black Hawk Down?
Yeah.
That's Somalia. That's fucking us just coming and going like murder like, people. Oh, it's the greatest military victory of all time. Yeah, it's like 10 special forces guys killing thousands of people.
Yeah.
I mean, we basically...
We left a couple of helicopters down in their fucking downtown. That was not
and much like Terminator 2, they used those chips to build their own technology, and I assume. And then, you know, somehow that's where the pirates got their gear from.
And they built Somali robot pirates.
Exactly.
Sex pirates.
Yeah.
But look, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, if you don't want to invite people to the table, they're going to find their own food.
Right.
That's my expression.
Right.
I'm patenting that. But the point is, you know, if you, like,
it's on the Somali flag.
Yeah, I mean, like, is it moral? No, but like, who gives a shit? They're hungry.
Yeah.
And then
you could say the CIA is kind of like a crime family.
It's way beyond a crime family.
Think about it.
Oh, that's what you're doing there.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like it's very clear that the CIA funded Al Qaeda at one point, and it's very clear that 9/11 was faked, and it's very clear that they probably didn't kill Bin Laden the way they said they did. It wasn't Seymour Hersh.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
So you know, who the fuck knows?
Yeah, you don't think of America being so big that we control the entire world, and we sort of do, right? I mean,
well, we split it up with other countries too, but yeah, at this point we dominate it.
Yeah,
and it's not as if like America
it just seems so complicated.
Well, it's more like we create chaos, and certain small percentage of those people in America, and really to say they're American, even like. When you're that rich, when you're dealing with trillions of dollars, your countries don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
So the guys who like
speak like 8 languages.
Yeah, you think Halliburton is a patriotic American institution? No, they're fucking profiting off like the deaths of millions of people. Like,
but it seems like when you're the president, you have to know about a lot of things.
Not today, not these days.
Yeah. No, I mean, but yeah, no. If you give a shit, I mean, all the foreign policy stuff, and then
it's
all the
very
domestic stuff,
complicated,
and then everything's very complicated.
And a lot of it's like a rat's nest of like interests that overlap.
Yeah, I'm just glad I can make fun of Chinese people in my living room.
Yeah,
hopefully that'll be a job.
And hopefully that stays.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Ray.
No, I'm just saying a lot of this whole like the nuance. I mean, it is real, and there is kind of like a very the institutional memory to the State Department, and like when Trump just goes out and tweets like a maniac. Mm-hmm. But that being said, there also is a lot of just like, at the end of the day, a lot of it is just a lot of legalese to distract you from the fact that we're fucking people.
Yeah.
That's just the end of the day. We're grabbing resources, we're grabbing oil, we're grabbing lithium, fucking cobalt, and fucking coltan.
Yeah.
We're strip mining Afghanistan and putting Burger King in there. It's like fucking convincing them to fucking grow opium again.
Yeah,
it's just like,
and then we're like, here's Stormy Daniels' pussy. Yeah. Forget about all that stuff we just showed.
And we put Trump in and go, why didn't you steal the oil? If you're gonna go, I'm not saying I want to go in Iraq, but if you're gonna go there, steal the oil.
Yeah. Right.
It's just, I don't know how the rest of the world can't view us as just the biggest fat maniacs in the world. I mean, just these fat psychopaths who like fucking won't pass a single ounce of like assault gun regulation. Yeah. And like fucking we invade. It's so funny. I saw Bernie Sanders tweet about Yemen, and like the first response to it was this guy James Benedetto. So you know he's gonna say so what's
James gonna say?
real insightful stuff, you know, real smart. I never really got the stereotype that Italians are dumb because we always said Polish were dumb. But God, the more I see these fucking Dagos open their mouth. Some of the dumbest shit on social media gets said by people with vowels at the end of their name.
Sure.
So what did James say?
Well, somebody shared this article like recently. It was like knife attack injures 21 people. Injures 21 people at some school, and some fucking wop was like, "We gotta ban the knives now, right?" Anyway, so James Benedetto was like, he's like, "Yeah, why are we even in Yemen? I mean, do they got resources we need?"
I love the next level, like just like the
just
old school George Bush Senior pragmatism of it. It's like,
right?
Is our balance of power really getting shifted by our position in Yemen? Ma, cook the man of God.
Where's my lunch? Anyway, where were we? Let's talk about some other good people, huh? Let's talk about the good men and women of Hamas.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're they're giving the people what they want.
Yeah, and one thing I read about them was like, and this is better than most other, probably any other United Way or Wounded Warrior or whatever. Like 90% of their revenue goes to like making Palestine better, building roads and schools and shit like that for
blowing up Israeli.
That other 10%.
Yeah, all positive stuff.
Yeah,
I mean that's the thing. It's like part of you're basically this landmass that's being choked off. Mm-hmm. I'm sure a few of them are terrorists. Maybe a lot of them. Who can count? Yeah,
I mean, listen, I know almost nothing about this, but go ahead.
No, but it's like my point is like, look, if you're gonna kill them all, just kill them all. Mm-hmm. If you're gonna leave them, I'm not saying you should. Mm-hmm. I'm on the other side, but if you're gonna leave people there rotting with no jobs and it's like fucking landmass where they can barely come in and out, a few of them are gonna fucking blow stuff up. But it's kind of the same thing. If you're not going to invite people to the table, don't be surprised when they fucking shit in your mom's mouth.
Acting out, yeah.
Or maybe they're shitting in your mom's mouth because they heard good
Matt's
things.
Mom's a trash bag.
Jesus, I had to Google, is Hamas bad or good? I have no idea about this stuff.
Look, I mean,
with everything, there's like
you lose the moral authority when you strap a kid with a vest and blow him up.
Yeah, sure, but also it's like people are like, oh, Arabs are so mad, but you got to get to you got to be pushed pretty far, before you blow yourself up.
And Look, seems like all the publications too are like the gospelcoalition.org. They're not going to be partial, right?
Yeah, listen, I mean, I've been fucked over, here and there, like, you get fired from jobs or whatever, but I've never been so far to like blow myself up. Actually, no, I got fired from the Smith, and it's this restaurant in the East Village, and maybe then I would put a bomb.
Were you a busboy?
Yeah, waiter.
Well, how did it?
They let me go after like a week.
Oh, you just didn't work out.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just feel
put
like
your thumb in people's soup like a dirty waff.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just more responsible.
Here's your minestrone,
It's more responsible to be like, oh, why is that guy
right?
Why is that guy a terrorist? Because they're usually pretty desperate people.
Sure.
It seems like if you want to change my mind,
you're like the meme.
You want to change my mind? Matt's phone number is 954.
Well, let's admit that terrorism works.
Yeah,
it works a lot.
Terrorism works.
Well.
Change my mind.
Sometimes you push people too far, and then we blow up Iraq, which is also kind of a very roundabout system. But but the point is, look, if you're Al Qaeda, you got fucked a little bit, maybe. We
probably, yeah.
But
nobody just crashes a plane into a building, for no reason.
Yeah, but it's also like a lot of this stuff does tend to. I mean, look with the Spanish when they blew up the Spanish trains.
Yeah,
Spain pulled out of the war. So did France or whatever. Mm-hmm. I mean, those guys in ISIS with that band playing anymore. I don't think that band's playing much. So they won.
What guys in ISIS?
With the fucking the
metal band ISIS.
No, the champions of Eagles or the Screaming Eagles of death metal or whatever it's called.
Oh,
there's a concert where they killed people.
Right.
That band's
right. There's no like Charlie Hebdo cartoons happening.
That's why that attack happened. They just didn't like that band.
It's trash.
Yeah, it kept coming on their Spotify radio.
Bring back Winger.
Yeah.
Right.
They didn't like Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
Is that Hamas? I don't know.
No, that was maybe
hummus.
No, the Ariana.
Is that chickpeas?
The Ariana Grande concert.
What? What are you talking
There was a
about?
bomb that went off
in Manchester.
That actually went off?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I remember this.
This was a while ago.
Yeah.
That's crazy that there's been so many that it's like, which person, which concert, was it the country? Yeah. So many.
Remember the good old days when, like, that's the thing. No one real like big's getting killed. Like back then, you had there's less stuff was happening back then, but like John Lennon got shot. It's a big deal.
Yeah,
like not just regular people, but you used to have like Reagan getting a bullet. Kennedy.
Yeah,
his
brother.
Yeah,
yeah.
Fucking John Lennon taking one to the dome. It's just fucking it mattered. Now it's just a bunch of schlubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no assassinations anymore.
Right.
Right.
We should delve into that. A lot of that's mob related too, like the Kennedy brothers. Most likely.
You haven't talked about the Kennedy brothers yet?
No, we're not there.
We're pacing ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't want to eat too much.
First,
we wanted
to have Frank Terranova do a few episodes and talk about how he's an underrepresented genius and the whole world owes him a career. So we start off with that, and then we So anyway, the show's sort of still figuring stuff out. And I guess this is worth mentioning, Pablo Escobar built those homes for poor people. So
we also blew up judges.
No, I know. So you're right. But at least.
Yeah, we talked about him at length on Popeye in the episode before that, Louisa's.
Yeah. But at least if you're those poor people that got a house built for you, I mean, it's probably better than this retard with the swear jar thing.
No, look, clearly. I mean, even though Pablo,
for that individual,
he built you a house and he cut your dad's throat because he fucking an ounce of coke went missing. But it's still better than that asshole.
Yeah. Right. Is there any I guess what I'm trying to find and what I haven't really been able to find is obviously the humanitarian work that these guys do doesn't justify all the awful shit they were doing, and the world is better off. Because some people will be like, "Oh yeah, we got to bring back the mob," but we're better off without the mob. I think, right?
Depends on who the head is, If it's like a kind, generous man, let's bring back the mob. But if it's like a psychopath who's like
the problem is
they're still going to hoard the money.
It's much like The Wire. When they took the mob out, they didn't squash any of these criminal enterprises. So they're still happening. So what it's really
when they took out the bosses.
Well, yeah. So I'm saying it may not be the Italian mob, but the Russian mob, the Albanian mob, the Armenian mob, all these, the Yakuzas, who are the Russians. So, it's an interesting question. Are you better off having a juggernaut mob, which with less infighting and something that you can kind of maybe be more malleable, or is it worse to have a fucking situation where is the American mob, the Italian mob at its height because it was so unimpeachable? It probably is worse because all these smaller mobs are more controllable. And you can arrest them.
But there's probably with a bigger, more centralized power, there's probably still less fighting in the streets and shit like that, and wars and.
You see a lot of Armenians fighting in the streets though.
Do you feel like they give out a little bit more though? What if it's a big conglomerate? If it's a bunch of small, little mafias, they don't seem to. They only give to their own. You have a team you're playing for. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like in Astoria, I'd have all the Greek people, but I'm not Greek, so I'm not gonna get anything out of it. If it was just only Italian mafia.
Yeah, I mean, there's no Joe Colombo parade anymore, which was a nice thing. It
was a great day.
He was handing out trays of
That's
chicken
where my
cacciatore.
parents met. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get a free turkey.
Yeah, you don't see that.
Do you think was Joe Colombo cooking turkey cacciatore on Thanksgiving? Is that the big thing in Thanksgiving?
Yeah, he was actually. Well, no. See, what Joe Colombo did was around Thanksgiving he would hand out trays of turkey cacciatore. He would throw it off the truck, much like Frank Lucas did. But because it was kind of messy, if you didn't catch it,
right?
Yeah, a lot of tomato sauce everywhere.
Yeah,
yeah,
good man.
Yeah,
he was shot, right?
He was shot by Joey Gallo.
He survived, right?
Yeah, he survived in a coma for I think a long time,
long time, right?
Years. Yeah. I
like Gallo. He's a fun guy.
Yeah, he was. He was another one when if you want to talk about humanitarian work, when his funeral procession, there was everybody was coming out to pay their respects.
Well, yeah, because he probably had a kid who was just as big a murderer as he was. I mean,
yeah,
Joey Gallo was a vicious guy. He was the only guy John Gotti was afraid of, right? Or am I thinking of someone else?
I think.
I'm thinking of Roy DeMeo.
Oh, really? Road to yeah.
He was like apparently DeMay was the only guy he was like God he was afraid of.
Right.
What about Gas Pipe? Maybe not.
I mean, if they knew it was good for him, I think he was only afraid of DeMeo though. Like famously, you know.
Who's Gas Pipe?
The boss of the Lucchese family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
His name was Gas Pipe?
Yeah, Anthony Gas Pipe Casso.
Oh, okay.
We did an episode on him recently.
That's nice. I gotta delve into your archives.
Ray, where can we see your stuff?
You can listen to me on the Tim Dillon is Going to Hell podcast. It's on iTunes, or you can subscribe on the Gas Digital Network. Also, you can check me out on my Vice Sports show. It's called That Happened. You can find it on Vice Sports Facebook or Go 90.
Nice. Check out check out Tim Dillon's Going to Hell. They get into a lot of like cool topics. They get into politics and the CIA and where the best eggplant rollatini is in Long Island. And,
you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter at Ray Kump.
Hell yeah.
KUMP.
And then check out Matt's show, the 20-Year-Old Movie Podcast.
Yes, thank you.
Also, guys, we really appreciate your support on Patreon and all that stuff. Also, if you want to do a one-time donation, my Venmo is Michael-Recine-2. If you want to send me a couple bucks, you know.
Yeah, get excited for that premium Asian accent content coming out on Patreon.
Yes, if you want to subscribe to the Patreon, I will have perfected my...
Your Asian accent.
My Asian accent. So if you want to see it, if you want to see the journey, if you want to see tutorials on how to, look and sound more Asian, that's all on Patreon. Please check that out. We really appreciate your support over there. And as long as you guys keep listening, we'll keep making these shows. All right? All right.
Thanks for being on again, Ray.
No, of course. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.